An Indian vibe coding startup called Emergent has just raised $70 million at a $300 million valuation, and they're raising it from some of the biggest investors out there, like SoftBank and Koshla Ventures. Today on the podcast, Jamie and I want to jump into, first of all, I mean, this whole round of funding is amazing, what the company's doing, how they're different, but kind of the state of where a lot of these vibe coding apps are today, because Jamie and I are testing a ton of vibe coding apps. We're building some insane stuff with it. So I think this is really the future of where AI and software is going. And yeah, we want to break down all of that on the show today. Before we do, I wanted to mention that Jamie and I have launched a brand new course over on our AI Hustle School community, and it is a vibe coding course. So every single week, we're dropping a new video on our personal vibe coding products. How we're both, neither of us are developers. Like Jamie will tell you, we have not done any vibe coding in
Nope.
our lives or any coding in our lives in the past before. Both of us have been able to build full-on software products in the last few weeks using some of these vibe coding tools. We break down how we do it, how we're able to optimize those with SEO, how we're able to get customers, how much money they're making. Like, we will break down all the details of the full project along with, hundreds of other videos over on the AI Hustle School community about how to use AI to grow and scale your business. So if you want to get access to all of that, it is $19 a month. We also have an annual plan for I believe it's $160. So you could go get access to that as well. If you get the price now, it will be locked in and it doesn't ever raise on you. But we will probably raise the price in the future as the group continues to grow. So if you want to go check it out, all of those videos, go check it out. There's a link in the description. All right, Jamie, this is a massive round of funding. I mean, $70 million. What kind of stood out to you here with Emergent?
Yeah, well, I mean, so vibe coding, like Jaeden had just mentioned, is I think the future in a lot of different ways. From everything from app development, even to SEO, and how do you rank your website to show up, in Google Gemini search. All of that I think will come back to vibe coding. I think this is where a huge amount of money is going to be going in this next year in 2026. Also, where a lot of money is going to be spent in order to use these softwares because they're so valuable, in my opinion, anyway. So they raised $70 million. This is 4 months after their $23 million Series A raise. So they're raising money like crazy. SoftBank is, in a huge VC firm. They also have raised, so they've raised $100 million total. So quite a bit of money. Jaeden, have you noticed anything specific about what makes this company different, or is it just their location? Why is this company in particular raising so much money?
I mean, I think one thing that you'll find with any of these startups, and the vibe coding ones are amazing, but I'll break down why this is, but it is their annual recurring revenue. This is just kind of like the number, like if you have a good annual recurring revenue, you can go and raise a lot of money. And in Emergent's case, they have $50 million in annual recurring revenue. They have more than 5 million users. And they said that they're targeting an annual recurring revenue of $100 million by April of this year. So when you see just like super fast growth like this, I think this is one thing that's really exciting for investors to go into. Now, how did they get to such massive annual recurring revenue? I mean, obviously, vibe coding is just taking off. Everyone's trying a lot of different platforms, so they got in front of enough people to get them to try it. But this is what I think is interesting about the annual recurring revenue of these vibe coding platforms in particular, how they're able to do that. And this is essentially what happens. Jamie, you'll also probably notice this, and this is what I found is I'm actively using Lovable right now to vibe code podcaststudio.com, a project I'm working on to create a podcast distributor. So what I have noticed is every time you run out of credits on one of these platforms, so you're building, it will prompt you like, hey, upgrade to a higher tier subscription plan. Like it'll add another $100 worth of credits. And now instead of being on the $100 plan, you're now on the $200 plan. And when you run out of those, it bumps you up. And so like very quickly, I think in like 9 days of kind of on the side, kind of coding this project for myself, I got to the $480 a month subscription tier of Lovable. Like that was what my plan was at. Now, what's interesting is at the point that I finish my project or feel like, okay, I'm going hard, right? I'm building out as much as I can, as fast as I can. I'm just burning through credits. It's like $500. I'm like, I don't care, because if I had paid a software developer to do this, I mean, this has been where the space that I've worked in for the last 10 years. I've, paid software developers to build software for me. To pay someone to build this platform would have cost me, 30 to 100 grand, depending on how nice I wanted it. It would have taken at least 6 months to build. So 6 months and 100 grand. and I'm able to build this thing in 9 days with $500. $500 is negligible to me. Like I'm like I don't care. Like I'll like this thing's amazing. I like clone Spotify for creators basically, and like 10 other startups, mix them all into one, and it does everything I ever wanted. So like I will just keep paying, the hundreds of dollars doesn't matter to me. But what's interesting about that hundreds of dollars is now Lovable gets to count my $480 a month as monthly recurring revenue because I'm on that subscription tier, even if I have my account set to downgrade to their $5 a month tier at the end of the month. So like I'll like I don't want to accidentally have it refresh at $500 a month if I'm not going to use it next month, because how a lot of these projects work is you go in sprints, right? Like I push really hard to build like a base product, and I'm not just going to keep building forever. I got to go do marketing and get some customers for it, or just use it, and then maybe in the future I might want to add some more features. And it kind of ebbs and flows, but you spend a lot of the upfront work, aka a lot of the upfront credits, like immediately. They get to count that as monthly recurring revenue. And in this number where they have annual recurring revenue is just your monthly recurring revenue times 12. So I count to them as $500 in monthly recurring revenue, or as $6,000 in annual recurring revenue. Even though I'm going to spend $500 and downgrade to the $5 a month plan at the end of the month, I still count as $6,000 in monthly recurring revenue. So, anyways, I know it sounds like kind of like a
Yeah.
crazy bit of a numbers game. I just wanted to break that down so people understand what's actually going on here. They say they have $50 million in annual recurring revenue, but like as of today, that's what it is, but that may change. Now, the one thing that I will say is because these companies are growing so fast and they're gaining so many new users, by the time I downgrade, some other person will have taken my place and will be on the $500 month. So like they very well, as long as they can keep growing and getting new users, they might actually keep hitting these annual recurring revenue targets and big numbers and figures that they put out there. But I just wanted to break it down so people understand the transparency on how that math actually works.
Yeah, I'll say something with that along those lines too, because the tool I'm building has um, AI functionality built in. So it's basically like a room restyler. People can submit a picture of their room, and then it will transform it into Jamie and Sarah's signature style. It's like a lead magnet for my real estate uh, page website. But we published it on our Instagram, and over 60 people used it, sometimes with multiple generations. And so that actually used up all my credits. So now I had to top it off. So if you have a lot of users and you have AI functionality built in, you're going to be paying more for credits too. So it's not necessarily just in the building of your product, but if you have like AI functionality or something that uses credits, you're going to have to pay more for those monthly too. So, anyways.
100%. So for you, when you set that up, did you have like an API, or did you have Lovable set up your like whatever AI tool it was using to do those images?
I just let it choose whatever tool, and then it plugs into like Lovable AI. I don't know where
Okay,
it's coming
yeah.
from.
So that is a pro tip that I would give to anyone building with Lovable. And Jamie and I have a lot of videos and pro tips on how this works. But one pro tip I would say is to build an admin panel. We'll have a whole video on our school community about building admin panels, but something that will track not just building your tool, but all of the services, all of the APIs, all of the AI models, how to actually track how much all of that costs and how to bill out to your customers for all that kind of stuff. Because that's important, right? You add an AI feature to your website and it's amazing, but you have to pay for that whenever people use it. And one thing I would recommend is looking at the options out there for what the cheapest AI models are that can accomplish your task for you, and go and get an API key directly rather than having Convergent or Lovable or Base 44 pick the default models for you. So that's just a little pro tip. One thing that's amazing about Emergent that I will say though, they're based in San Francisco. They have 75 employees. 70 of them work out of Bangalore. So this is basically an India-based company. You can imagine they have, it's much cheaper to run the company out of India than Lovable out of Sweden, for example. So I think that that's like an interesting competitive advantage to it. And I think Emergent is really crushing it right now. They have investors in a lot of different vibe coding platforms. Acel has also invested in them and has also backed other vibe coders. So I think they found some good investors. They have a good team, and I'm excited to see what happens. There's a lot of competition out there for sure. Lovable, Cursor, Replit, Base 44. But like, I think Emergent is doing a great job, and I'll be excited to see how this company continues to grow.
Hey, if you got any value out of this episode, we'd really appreciate a rating or review wherever you're listening. We really appreciate those, and they help us reach more people. And again, check out our AI Hustle School community if you want to learn to grow your business or make money on the side using AI. That's a great place to be. And we have an incredible vibe coding course coming soon. So go check that out. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.